Hi guys, Dawn from Creative Appliques. Welcome to my channel. Happy Crafternoon. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for joining us today and welcome back. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and hit the bell to be notified when I upload new content. Also, if you find this video helpful and you liked it, please give me a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed this content and I will continue uploading more. Today, we are going to talk about how to sew this mask. Now, originally I created this mask for an in the hoop design for the embroidery machine, but I have had an overwhelming positive response for the mask to be made into a sewing pattern, so that's what we're going to do today. So first, let's talk about the specifics of the mask, what the features are of it, and a little more information. So this mask has pleats in the front and in the back. There are pleats in the front and the back. There is an opening to put a filter in there or some added protection, and there is also a slot to add the metal wire for the nose to form. I've gotten a lot of questions about sizing of the masks. So this mask that I sewed on the sewing machine, this is a size large, and I'm going to put it on to show you how it fits. Now I am 5'7", and this is the size that I like the fit of. So you can see the pleats expand down to cover the chin. Take the wire and press it so it gives a nice snug fit here around the nose. Okay, so you can see how it fits here. This is a size large, okay? This is a size large, and I am 5'7". In the file, you will get a small, medium, large, and extra large. The small tends to fit children from anywhere from 3 to 7. The medium fits about anywhere, an older child, maybe 8 to 12. And then the large would fit a teenager to a woman, and then the extra large a man. Now these are just guidelines. It depends on the person and how they personally like it to fit. As I said, I'm 5'7" and I like the large. My friend's daughter is also 5 feet 7 inches and she likes the extra large. So I think it just is going to depend personally on how you like it to fit, but those are some guidelines. The next question I want to address before we get into the supplies and sewing is elastic. So it depends on if you're going to wear it around the ears or if you're going to make put one whole piece in there to put it around the neck and the head. So my guideline is, and these are all just suggestions, I would suggest cutting it a bit longer. So start with 10 inches and they can be adjusted shorter for the ear. For the ears, 10 inches for each ear, or if it's going to go around the neck and the head, I would suggest one long piece of 40 inches. Then it could be adjusted smaller if needed, but if you cut it too short, then that will definitely be a problem. So for each ear, I would suggest start with 10 inches or 12 inches, and then for the one long piece that will loop through and go around the back of the head and neck. Here are the supplies you're going to need to complete this project. You're going to want to print out the pattern for the mask. There are 3 parts for each mask. So you will print that out, and then you will also need to print out the pleating guide. The pleating guide you will only need to print out one time, and I'll show you how to prep that. You're going to need some cotton quilting fabric. You may also want to use some flannel or jersey knit on the inside, but on the outside it would be good to have some kind of cotton quilting fabric so that it maintains the shape of it if you do choose to use some kind of knit. A rotary cutter is good for helping to cut the fabric quickly and easily. You're going to maybe want a pair of pinking shears if you don't finish off the inside edge of the mask so that it won't fray. a good pair of trimming scissors to clip. You're going to want your thread, just regular sewing thread for your sewing machine, a marking pen to mark the spots, the places on the pattern where you are going to fold it, or a marking wheel with some tracing paper. You're going to want to have some quilting clips if you don't have clips like this. Regular pins will work as well. A pipe cleaner or some kind of wire for in the nose channel to give it some structure and to be able to form around the face. You're going to want some kind of elastic, or you can use hair ties, or you can use strips of t-shirts that are cut in 1-inch width strips, or people have used tights as well. And then to prepare the pleating guide, a ruler and an X-Acto knife or some kind of knife. So now let's get to prepping the pleating guide for the first time. So this is the pleating guide that comes included, and it will make sense once we go through step by step of sewing. But the easiest way to do this, I printed this on cardstock so that I have it to use over and over and over again. So one thing I like to do is I like to line up my ruler with the lines and then do a light scoring. So I'm not cutting all the way through, I'm just gently scoring the part, the line, so that it will fold easily. So you want to do this for the 3 red and the 3 gray that say fold out, fold in, fold out, fold in. Do not do it for the top part, black solid line here. Now, once I have that scored, you can see where it says fold out. It will simply fold, fold in, fold out, fold in, fold out, and fold in. And now that I have it all folded correctly, the way it's supposed to be, I turn it over onto the back, and I use some masking tape and I'm going to make sure it's flattened out, and on the edge I'm going to tape it. This is from the back side, not from the front. So now if you're making several different sizes of the mask, small, medium, large, extra large, you can cut this, if you wish, to the width of the mask you're making. So you can make one of these pleating templates for the small mask, and you would cut it in at the width needed for the width of the mask. For the extra large mask, it's 8.5 inches wide. So that will be the width of a normal printer cardstock paper. And so you can go ahead and make one of these pleating templates for every size. I don't do that. I use the one template for the small, medium, large, and extra large. Once you get a hang of it, you'll understand and see how easy it is. So after I have the pleating guide all folded and taped and ready to go, I like to give it a quick press. And I'm using a steam iron. This is cardstock. I've used another one of these over 100 times or more with the steam iron, and with fabric, without fabric, and it's completely fine. It holds up beautifully. So I give it a quick press to flatten it all out, just like I would with my fabric. Now let's start prepping the material. So this is piece A, and this is the curved side. We're going to take it and we're going to match up the curved ends here and we're going to press it gently in half, okay? Now we're going to take the pleating guide, and it shows you here, piece A, insert fold here. It's talking about the fold that we just folded in half. So we're going to slip it under, where the arrows are, we're going to slip it under, inside there, okay? And now, as we hold the bottom piece in place, we're going to gently open it up. You could do a quick press there. And now we're going to hold it here and push in to make the pleat. We're going to do the same thing with the bottom, making sure that this is staying in here like this. You can hold it with your top fingers and take your thumbs and gently press it in there like that. And there are your pleats. And then I simply slide it off. And press it again. So, on the pleating guide it says here, piece A, for every single size, small, medium, large, extra large, there are 3 pleats all sizes. So this is piece A. Piece A is the front of the mask. This is going to be the part that you do 3 pleats for every size, okay? Put that aside. So now we have piece B. This is piece B. We're going to fold it in half, wrong sides together, meeting up the arches here, the curve, and we're going to press it in half. We're finished with piece B. Piece C, okay? The straight edge is the top, the curved edge is the bottom. So for piece C, I'm going to turn it over, and now I put the straight edge down here, and I'm going to press it over a 1/2 inch and press there. I love this little tool. It's called a Clover Hot Ruler. I will put the links for all the products I'm using down below. This is a Cricut pressing mat that they use for their Cricut presses. So it's amazing because I can stick it on top of my plastic cutting board and it doesn't get hot at all. The only reason why I have this little rubber mat under here to keep it from sliding around, so I stay within the video. But anyway, okay, so we took the piece C and we folded it over a 1/2 inch. Now on the pattern piece here, you see it says fold and press on the gray dotted line. So I folded on the half, and now I'm going to fold that in half, and I'll show you what that means. So I folded it down 1/2 inch, and now I'm going to take it and open it up and fold down into that part, okay? So this is the 1/2 inch I pressed. I'm going to simply fold that in half, okay? Just like that, and then run my iron along that. All right, so now that was the straight edge, the top edge of piece C. So when we take the pleating guide, place piece C pressed edge here. This is piece C pressed edge that we're talking about, okay? It's not the curved edge, it's the pressed edge. You place that there on this line. And then I like to take my quilting clip and just clip it right there to hold it, okay? Now this is for a large mask I'm doing. So large and extra large mask, 1, 2, and 3 pleats. 1, 2, and 3 pleats. If I was doing a small or medium mask, I would only do 1 and 2 pleats, okay? This is the large mask, so we're doing pleat 1, pleat 2, pleat 3, okay? Pleat 1, pleat 2, and pleat 3 for the large mask. Press. This is piece C. Remove the clip, slide it off, and then press one more time. Piece C, complete. Pieces D, 2 pieces of D you cut, okay? And so this is the 3-inch width here, and then this is the 4-inch height, I think. I'm trying to remember. Dealing with 4 sizes of masks here. This is, so the orientation that you use is going to be 3-inch width by 4-inch height. This is for the large mask. So no matter what mask you're making, small, medium, large, extra large, they are all 3 inches wide, okay? So now this is the height that we need. The width is always 3 inches. So I think for the small, it's 3 inches wide. For the medium, all of the specs are in the patterns that you cut. But we are dealing right now with the 3-inch width. Okay, so we're going to turn it over, right side down, and we are going to press just like we did for PC, a 1/2 inch up, and then fold that piece in half again and press it. So press. So there's the line there. We're taking it and folding it in half and pressing it again. We do that again for the top part. So fold it down a 1/2 inch down. And press. Fold it in half, the press we just did, and press again. Okay, so now both of these, the top edge and the bottom edge, are now pressed in. Now we take that piece and we fold it in half so that the pressed edges are meeting. Fold it in half, wrong sides together, right side out, and press that. We repeat the same thing with the other piece. Okay, so here are the 2 D pieces that have been prepped. We have folded down and then folded in half. The important thing to remember with every single size of the mask, piece D is going to be 1.5 inches in width once it's folded in half. Okay, so that way you know you have the correct orientation. So for the large mask, the finished size is going to be about 3 inches. Okay, so it's going to be 3 inches in height and 1.5 inches in width after we pressed it correctly. And this is important. Each size will have a different height that it needs to be, but it will always be the 1.5 inches in width. However, if you want to make the mask wider than it already is, one of the ways you can do that is by cutting the D piece wider. And then that way you would have extra width added to the finished mask. Now that we've prepped all the pieces with ironing, let's go to the machine. So we're going to start with piece A, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to baste the pleats down on the side, and I'm going to use 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now you want to take piece D, the 2 pieces of piece D, and we're going to sew across the top here and across the bottom. So now that we have sewn, basted the pleats down, I'm going to take the marking. I don't know if you can see it here. I marked it where it says the side slots line up. So the top of the side slots. So you take the folded end, and the folded end will be the piece that will be towards the center. So we meet up raw edge to raw edge. So here's my marking, and I'm going to clip it there. And then the same with the other side. So I marked it here, raw edge to raw edge, and clip. Now I want to mention, if you want to be able to put in some elastic or hair ties or something tight, something that is a loop that is not, it's one piece, it's not cut, then what I suggest is that you put that in now. So you would slide that into the fold like this, making sure it's in there, seated in there, okay? And then you can clip this on, fold towards the center, raw edge to raw edge, and we'll baste that on now. So this is piece A with piece D. The 2 pieces of D attached or basted. All of the basting I'm doing is 1/4 inch, okay? So it's going to be outside or inside of the final 3/8 inch stitching. So now we have piece C. It's already pleated, and we have folded over 2 times and pressed here, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch this top part down. Okay, so we've stitched that down, so there's a nice seam there, okay? Now piece B we have marked. One has the 2 lines and one has the nose channel. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do the 2 lines here, and if you have a buttonhole stitch, you can use that. You can also do just zigzag lines, okay? This is only going to be done with it unfolded, opened up. It will only be done on one side, not folded. So now switch your machine over to the zigzag or buttonhole and sew 2 lines. So now we're going to take piece B and fold it in half with the wrong sides together where we had pressed and turn it over. Now we're going to sew this channel here, this stitching. You can do once with the straight stitch and come back with the triple stitch, or you can do it a triple stitch from the beginning, or I'd like to do it something a little stronger than just a single stitch. So if you want to go back and forth over it a couple times, that's great, because this is where the wire is going to be for the nose channel, the nose wire channel, and you want to have it be secure. If you wish, you can trim between the two wires here, or sorry, the two zigzag stitches, or you can wait till the end. You are only going to cut through the top layer, not both, so the wire doesn't poke out and it will be on the inside. Just like that. So now we take piece B that we sewed the channel for the nose wire, and piece C. Now we're going to open it up so the pleats don't get in the way, and we have this straight edge here that we stitched down. So we're going to take that and we're going to put piece B on top of piece C. Piece B is going to be so piece C is going to be down on the machine, piece B is going to be on top of it, overlapping it about 1/4 to 1/2 inch, just like that. So now we're going to sew in about 2 inches and then turn and then either do a zigzag here a couple times or a really tight zigzag stitch. This is going to be where the pocket is that you can insert the filter. So we want to make sure that we have about 3-inch opening. So you're going to want to go in about a good 2 inches. Again, measurement's going to depend on the size of the mask, so you will want to mark it from what's marked on your B piece. So we have them overlapped about 1/2 inch. And I am going to do a triple stitch so it has so it's stronger, but you can use a single stitch and go back and forth a couple times. And then you repeat that again on the other side. Okay, so now we're going to baste the pleats for piece C. Again at 1/4 inch. Okay, so we have piece A here with the side slots attached. The pleats are facing down, the folds are facing down. This is going to be the nose section, this is going to be the chin section. So now we're going to take piece B, okay, so we sewed piece B and piece C together, and piece B will be on the top, up on top, and piece C will be at the bottom. Okay, and so now we are just going to clip it or pin it together, and then we're going to sew it. Okay, so we have it pretty much pinned, but I wanted to talk about these side slots, the green pieces, piece D. This is the where the elastic is going to go through, and so the way I like to have the mask is arched and curved so that it comes to the corner of the mask comes to the edge of piece D, but we're not going to sew over it. So what I want you to do is find, feel where the edge of piece D is with your fingers. Okay, the green piece here. And we're going to take our pin and pin just right on top of that. So when you're sewing, you're going to sew up here and you're going to sew about 1 stitch across, and then you're going to turn to go around the arch. Okay, so now I can feel where my piece D is in there, and I'm going to put the pin because that's where I want to sew up the side here, 3/8 inch seam allowance, and then that's where I'm going to leave my needle in, lift my presser foot, and then go around the arch. So I'm going to do this for all of the 4 corners of piece D. And this is not something you have to do. This is just the way I like the look of the mask to be. This is the way the pattern was intended to be. But sometimes with pleats and cutting curves and all of that, it may not match up. So this is how I like to do it. So I have piece D right there and lay piece C over it. And I can feel where the edge of my piece is. And I put my pin in there, and that's where I'm going to turn. So you'll see when I'm sewing that when I turn the presser foot, it may not be at that 3/8 inch seam allowance, but where it will be is here, where piece D is. So now to finish sewing this, you can go around the entire perimeter once with a single stitch, or you can do a triple stitch, or you can go around a couple times with a single stitch, or go around with a single stitch and a zigzag stitch, or if you have a serger, you can throw it on the serger after this. We're going to sew around the complete perimeter of it because we have a way to turn it without having to leave an open end. So now we're going to sew the entire perimeter. So now that we've completed stitching all the way around, like I said, you could do several, if you want several rows of stitching, you can do zigzag or what you prefer. But now we're going to cut close to the stitching. So I have my pinking shears and I'm going to cut close to the stitching, leaving just a little bit of overlap. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys something. So what I was talking about the edge, the corner right there coming in, right when you sew into this corner here, is right when you get past the edge of this. Okay, so this one actually went a little bit longer, but you can see how that is where the corner is. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about when you sew straight down this line, and right when you get past, go past the D, then you turn to arch. And so now I have my little straight scissors, and I'm going to cut across each corner so they will lay flat. And you can also, if you want, take some small snips in here. okay? And now we're going to turn it out. So before we turn the mask over, we want to get the wire inserted, because this little buttonhole zigzag thing that we sewed here is on the inside. So if you haven't cut that, you need to cut that now. And what I like to do is take a 12-inch pipe cleaner and fold it in half. And I like to just twist the ends like this. And then when I fold it, I like to fold it where the twist was, so that the ends are pointing in and not sticking out. This will be on the inside of the pocket though, so it shouldn't cause any problems with poking, but I just like to, that's just one of the things I like to do. So now that we push that all the way in there, we can turn the pocket. All right, so now we just are going to turn it out through the pocket. And you can take your finger and push out the edges of it. Okay, and then we'll press really nicely. So it lays nice and flat. And now to have it look even nicer and more finished, we could do a top stitch all the way around here. Just the mask itself, not on the side slots, because this is where you want the elastics to go through in here, but top stitch all the way around here. Okay, so now that we've turned it and we've pressed, pressed it, we've turned it, we've pressed it, and we top stitched just the outside of the mask and not the side slots. We're now going to get our elastic and stick it through. So for the elastic, it is a personal preference. It's definitely going to depend on the person and how they like it to fit. But for around the ears, 12 to 14 inches. And around the head, start with 40 inches and then you can get smaller from there. But these are just forceps that, yep, when I sewed through my finger one time, I went to the doctor and he said that I can have these because they ended up throwing them out after every patient. I thought, I'm not about to waste. So he gave them to me, and they are the best tools for threading things through tiny places. So now, there we go. I like to have one long piece that goes around the back of my neck and around the back of my head. There you go. So also, if you are giving the masks away, or even if you're selling them on the website, I also have this downloadable PDF that you can go and get. One says it's kind of instructions on how to wash it and take care of it. Nothing is written on here about it not being a medical grade mask. If that's something you want to include, you can, but this is just general washing and care instructions. And there's one that says for around the ears, elastic or ties that go around the ears or around the head. So that's also on the website as well. Thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up so I know that you are enjoying my content, and I will continue to make more videos for you. If you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing and hit the bell so you're notified when I upload new videos. Thank you very much for joining me today, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day and make your life creative.